Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Fred Rosenbaum. I'm founding director of Lehrhaus Judaica. Oh, please. Thank you. Thank you. Pleased to welcome you to this timely conference, Jewish Perspectives on War and Peace. I want to thank our partners, the Jewish Community Center of San Francisco, and particularly Rachel Brody, who you just heard, the Chief Jewish Officer, not only for hosting us, but for working with us to present this program. This is one of many projects, including our overseas study tours, in which we worked in close partnership with the JCC over the past few years. And I see a few veterans of the study tours are here today. Now, this conference has been co-sponsored by the UC Berkeley Law School Institute for Jewish Law and Israeli Law, Society, and Economy. Also, it's co-sponsored with the Israel Centers of the Jewish Community Federation and the Department of Jewish Studies at San Francisco State University. It's been made possible by the marvelous generosity of the Ingrid D. Tauber Philanthropic Fund, the Jewish Community Federation. Right. Thank you. And Endowment Fund. Also made possible by the Koret Foundation and by my dear friends Ida and Joseph Pell, who have supported Lehrhaus for decades. Now, after our keynote speaker, Professor Ruvain Firestone, whom I'll introduce shortly, we'll have our first session of workshops, followed by a lunch and learn study workshop. If you purchased lunch in advance, it will be waiting for you in the atrium. Then, after a break for coffee, another round of workshops. And I think that all this is made clear in your schedule. I'm very proud that we could present 15 leading local Jewish scholars to engage this subject, from ancient times all the way up to the present day. We'll be dealing today with biblical and Talmudic texts, of course, but also ancient history and archaeology, philosophy, ethics, resistance during the Holocaust, militants in Israel, and even pick up themes of war and peace in poetry, the novel, popular music, and the fine arts. Now, we'll conclude with a closing conversation, a panel moderated by my colleague at Lehrhaus, senior educator Rabbi Peretz Wolf-Prisan. And he'll moderate a panel which will include our keynote speaker and Rabbis Shelley Lewis and Melissa Weintraub. Now, our keynote speaker, Ruvain Firestone. He's a Bay Area native from Santa Rosa. He holds a PhD from New York University and is also a rabbi ordained by Hebrew Union College, where he is now professor of medieval Jewish and Islamic studies at its Los Angeles campus. He has used his scholarly expertise to deal with some of the most momentous issues of our time. Islam, the question of chosenness in Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, and of course, holy war. There's actually been little written that analyzes holy war in Islam or Judaism. He has written books on both. His study, Jihad, the Origin of Holy War in Islam, was published in 1999. His most recent work, Holy War in Judaism, was published by Oxford University Press earlier this year. It's the first book to consider how the concept of holy war faded from Jewish thought for almost 2,000 years, only to reemerge with renewed vigor in modern times. Today he'll be dealing with classical Jewish texts that make the distinction between a required and a discretionary war. Even lacking a state and army for 2,000 years, classical Jewish literature turned to issues of war and peace, questions of violence, martyrdom, and self-defense. This was a rich discussion, and it's a reflection of the ethics and values of Judaism. Now, one of the contemporary texts which has enormous present-day relevance comes from Rabbi Yitzhak Kaufman's book on halachic rulings applied to the Israel Defense Forces. Professor Firestone quotes Kaufman's statement that it is a wartime mitzvah to initiate an attack against an enemy that has not yet attacked, when it is known that the enemy's intent is to attack in the future, and attacking him first will reduce casualties. I'm sure the present-day relevance of this concept is clear to us all. But Professor Firestone has also focused on the area of mutual understanding as much as he has on war. One of his books is an introduction to Islam for Jews. Another is an introduction to Judaism for Muslims. And lest you think he's always preoccupied with these weightiest of issues, let me tell you, he also plays klezmer music on his accordion. He's an active outdoors person and an avid gardener. So please welcome Professor Reuven Firestone.